Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring artists you should know about on the show, and today we're heading to California to chat with singer-songwriter John Trescott Lewis. John started playing guitar in high school, then he saw Eddie Van Halen and realized being a full-time guitarist might not be in his future, so he switched to television engineering. He spent 40 years working for ABC. He retired in 2018, rebuilt his home studio, and he's just been releasing music since. His latest is called Can't Stay Here. We're excited to have John on the show. First, John, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, Jeff. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, well, you got some exciting stuff going on in your life. First, congratulations. What's this, Breedlove Guitars just sponsored you?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you knew that. Yeah, that's really cool. I've written so many songs on their guitar. They said, hey, we'll sponsor you. Just tell people what you're doing. I said, okay, we'll do it.
Well, and this has to be a nice compliment because you've been using their guitars. And so did they reach out to you? How did they find out?
Well, funny thing, I ended up driving through that area, and I figured I needed a guitar case, so I went right up to the shop, and they said, come on in, and they got to know me a little bit and found out about the music, saw my videos where I'm playing their guitars, and they said, wow, maybe you need to be in the pro program here. And I said, yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, so give me that case for free, and whatever else you got, too. But that's pretty
absolutely
cool. You're in California. Halloween was this week. Did you get trick-or-treaters? What's happening in your neighborhood?
Oh, it turned out to be an Indian summer, they call it, so it's like 84 degrees here.
Oh, wow.
Usually brings the wind and the fires, as you might see. But for Halloween, we ended up going to our local church, and we were, my wife and I were the outside arbiters of a blacklight search contest. And I was dressed as like a conquistador, I think is what it was, or like Zorro with a sword, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Great
Nice.
fun, though.
Well, that sounds fun. Yeah, exactly.
It really was.
Well, your name, I've been butchering your name all week. It's John Trescott Lewis, but it's L-U-I-S. So where are you from, John? Where's your family from? How did we get here?
Okay, good question. Well, it's not Luis, it's not Spanish. It's basically my grandfather came from China. And when my dad moved to and he married an American woman, so my dad is half Chinese. And when they came here, their name was Liu, spelled L-I-U. And for some crazy reason, when my grandmother brought my dad in as a very young child, on the birth certificate, she wrote L-U-I-S. And we don't know why, and even my dad wasn't sure why. But for some reason, he ended up taking the whole rest of his life with that. With my cousins, all are Liu. So, whatever.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's what we're kind of stuck with, explaining that to the world.
Yeah, and trying to find relatives is probably a little hard.
No, but the funny thing was, I think when I put music out, oh, you know what? I'll just put music out as John Lewis, spelled L-U-I-S, because that's what everyone knows me as. Yeah. No, bad idea. When you Google it, there's like 5 guys spelled exactly the same way on YouTube already, and that had a following. And I thought, I can't do it. I've got to put out something that's going to make me stand out a little bit. So that's why I put my full name in there.
That's why the Trescott's still in there. That's why he's JTL. Go check him out. Musicbyjtl.com. He's on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. His latest single, Can't Stay Here, is out now. If you go to his website, there's a cool picture of you, John. You're 17 years old. You're rocking the hair. You got the guitar. You look like a rock star. Tell us what happened. You were in California. You were watching. You kept going to Van Halen, and Eddie just must have blew you away.
Wow. First of all, kudos to you for digging deep and finding that picture. But, yeah, so this was Pasadena in the 70s, so I'm dating myself a bit. But, the Van Halen boys were called Mammoth at that time, and they were playing all over town. And literally you could hire them for $200 to play your backyard. The backyard parties were the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And this happened all the time. And I lived near a bunch of private schools, and they would always be playing their dances, including my high school. So this was a regular thing. So we saw him. This is before Eddie started with all the gymnastics that he, later was to be known for.
Yeah.
But he was still better than everyone else. And Roth was, he was Roth.
Yeah.
He was great even then. So seeing them, I just thought, wow, I'm a music major, and I can't do what he's doing. Maybe this is not the best thing for me to be doing. So I switched it. I went over to television engineering, which is, another love that I had, that kind of thing. So that's what got me there.
Well, and then that led you to your career. You worked for ABC for 40 years. What were you doing? Were you doing sound? Were you doing audio? What?
Yeah, actually, I really lucked out when I ended up going there. That my first day was on General Hospital, and that kind of was my starting point to see what things were going to be like. And during that time, I became a boom operator because they were. By the way, that's the only job that can't be replaced by technology.
There you go.
Yeah, so I thought that was a wise move. So I ended up doing tons of sitcoms and soap operas. I did General Hospital literally for probably 30 years anyway. And all the sitcoms of the day that were happening and just everything I could think of, like Family Feud, we were doing Welcome Back Kotter, Night Court, Married with Children, trying to pull them out of the vault there.
Wow.
And later on, so I did a lot of boom, and then I ended up doing a lot of award shows. I was an audio guy, so I was usually on stage handling the microphones, putting them on the actors and actresses as they go out for their presentations and talking with them and, making sure they're comfortable and it's kind of a liaison job. So I ended up doing that on, a whole bunch of Academy Awards, Emmy Awards, and World Music Awards, and great memories from all the people I got to hang with, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, really wonderful. I'll bet. Especially the award shows, putting microphones on everybody. That had to be cool. Well, I mean, peeling back the curtain, because I was in television for a while, too. Being a boom operator, he's talking about a boom mic. So when you're doing, like, the sitcom at General Hospital, so they don't go and overdub it. They don't have a microphone on, so you're catching their audio when they're doing it. So that's their audio right there that you're recording.
Yep, and you better be right on.
Well, yeah. And not getting the other noise.
Yeah, you got it.
Except them.
That was a good description.
Yeah, so that'd have been awesome. So you retire, you go back, you're at your house, you rebuild your home studio, and then COVID hits. What were you thinking then?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, gee, I guess I'm going to write here by myself.
We're doing a lot of solo gigs.
Right, that's not actually what ended up happening. I ended up seeing a great artist, a local artist named Sean Jones out here in Ventura, and who's really popular all over the world, but he happens to play live close by. So saw him, ended up talking with him, we had struck up a conversation, ended up kind of becoming friends, and right when COVID hit, I called him up and said, hey, maybe you'd like to write together. I've got a couple songs that I think you might be good on. And this is before I sang any, by the way. And so he said, yeah, and this is during COVID, so he was really hot on the idea. And we did 2 songs together, which was, pulling from my brain here again, Take a Chance, and That's What I Need. And they're kind of Americana, and that was my first foray into recording a country-style song, which became, my passion shortly after that, as I got to go away from progressive rock, where I grew up, and find out about this wonderful world of country where there's great stories, amazing melodies, and musicianship that can't be copied anywhere. That's the love that I've completely embraced.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because if you go check out John's stuff, JTL, your album that you came out with, it's got the conglomeration of everything, That's What I Need's on it, but I mean, the first track is a total prog rock track. Were you a huge Rush fan? Did you just love prog rock? What?
Oh, good question. Take it back a little farther. So Deep Purple, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Black Sabbath, Genesis, Pink Floyd, certainly. There's a lot of Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull. There's a lot of that influence in there you're probably going to hear. Because, the thing is, that was 40, 50, 60 years ago. That music was great. And they're still playing the same music, and I love it, but I'm kind of ready for something else,
Yeah. Well, I've heard it from a lot of people. We get older, and and it seems like we like the storytelling, and you totally mentioned that in the music.
Yeah. It's all about that.
No, for sure. Well, and it seems like every track on JTL, you worked with somebody else on the song.
Yeah, most of them were written with someone else, co-written, because that was fun. and, and also the thing is that I was not writing for myself to do the vocals. For the first couple songs, I thought, well, I know these great singers. Let's have them do it. That just seemed like a smart thing. And one is a lady, one is a guy, and one is Sean. And so all these other people are singing the songs. And then we come along to this song called Stuck, which is my first real country one. And my recording engineer, mixer in Nashville, says, and I said, I don't know who I'm going to get to sing it. And he said, well, you have to sing it because nobody sounds like you. Well, you don't believe that till you really get it done. So we, pushed through. We did those songs, and they came out pretty well. And now I'm finding my voice, and the rest is kind of what you're following now.
Yeah, the rest is what you're hearing. Stuck came out, August of 2022, so just over a year ago. And you've been pumping them out. Go check him out, musicbyjtl.com. He's on Facebook, YouTube. Go to Spotify. You can check out all of his stuff. Amazon Music. He's everywhere. His latest single, Can't Stay Here, is out now. I mean, Can't Find My Funk. That's a killer song, John.
I loved it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. When you sit around and play acoustic guitar and you're just trying something and you come across something good and the rest of it you have to imagine, and you figure, well, if I could do some of those other songs, why couldn't I do this as a funk? It's not really a funk song, but it's kind of funky.
Kind of.
But I figured, I'm just going for great melodies and a hook, I'm just trying to write songs that people will remember and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and one of them, Silver Screamers, all about motorcycles. So what do you have at home? What's in your garage?
Oh, I have a sports car. But I wrote that for all the people that have the fantasy of being on a Harley. Because out here in California, you see that everywhere. You'll see a guy with a girl on the back on this gorgeous bike riding down the road and going by some funky old bar where everybody pulls up in front and they end up, talking to the people there. And it's the story about a guy pulling up in front and there's a girl there just, standing there, which sometimes happens. And he said, hey, are you looking for a ride? You want to go out on my Silver Screamer, which is the hot rod, bright silver bike, as you can see in the artwork.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. And it's kind of an imaginative way of thinking about going down the road. It's that romantic traveling around on a bike kind of thing.
Nice. Well, and you were doing, when was the last time you did a live stream? I saw one you were doing a couple, and then you did one like 5 months ago. Have you done one since then?
Good question. I think I did about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And each one is about an hour, so they're quite a bit to put on, and we want to make sure we have enough things going on. And usually when it's a brand new song coming out. So yeah, we've done 4 of those and talked about a lot of things that we touched on briefly here, and that's really fun thing. So I'm hoping that now that COVID's really done out here, that's going to manifest itself into more live shows out here and local playing, that kind of thing.
Yeah. We played Don't Make Them Like They Used To on the show, which I love the title because it's true. What's the inspiration of the song?
Oh, man, this is a true story. I was getting a little bit older and out at a party, a big friends party, and everybody's there, and maybe staying out too late, maybe drinking too much, and woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with this song kind of going through my head, but feeling terrible. I mean, really feeling terrible. Like, oh my gosh, they clearly don't make them like they used to, because I could usually go through it. And then I realized that, we're all kind of going through that, and it used to be fun keeping up with everyone, but now it's starting to get a little old. And then you wake up and things don't feel quite like they used to,
Yeah, for sure. No, I hear you there. Waking up Sunday morning's not fun sometimes.
Yeah, right.
How's California? Where are you at? Are you still in the Pasadena area? Where are you located? Are you in Hidden Hills? What?
Oh, good question. So no, I'm in a place called Ventura. It's called Simi Valley.
Okay.
And it's just on the edge of the San Fernando Valley, which is part of Los Angeles. And that was easy enough to get to Hollywood from here and still be able to afford a house back in the 80s. So that's why I did that. But it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful day today. You know, we have our share of crazy weather, from crazy rains to no rain for 5 or 7 years to crazy wind. We got 40-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. It's just all over the place. But with that, here in my studio, I look out onto this world, and it's just, I just thank God for it every day because it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, that's nice. You've been knocking it out. This is your 4th single this year. You signed with a PR person overseas. Why was that? What was the thinking behind that?
Oh, good. That's a really interesting question. They contacted me after hearing some of the songs, and I felt, so I've done PR in the United States before. It was okay, but I thought these guys in England have a whole different take on it, and they're putting their things out to radio, their things out to press that are very different than what we normally get here. And so I thought, well, it'll be interesting to get their take. So it's, you know, it's in like radio stations in Canada, and thank goodness with yours in Wyoming, and all over across London. And that is not something that probably would have happened any other way. And they just look at things a little bit differently. And I thought that might be interesting.
Yeah, well, got to me, so it's working. And to get it out
right.
all over the world. Because, I mean, don't make them like they used to. Just came out, what, in August or something? And then you already come out with Can't Stay Here.
Yeah, I know. I probably was not the best PR move, but, you know, we had them, and frankly, the last time I went to Nashville to record, which was in June, we did 12 songs, brand new songs that aren't out yet, and we did those 12 songs in 2 days.
Wow. Holy
which
cow.
was kind of
did
unusual.
You sleep?
Yeah, we did, but we worked really hard, and then you redo vocals after that kind of thing, after you sing them. But it just was such a blast, and they were so amazing. My band is just phenomenal. That when we had these, we had like 6 done really quickly and mixed and ready to go. And so you've gotten to see the first couple, Can't Stay Here, Don't Make 'Em, and then we're going to have, oh my gosh, I have progressive rock next, and then several ballads and several country ballads that are next. And they're all ready to go, so I figure, let's put them out. You know, let's get them out there.
Well, exactly. They're ready to go. You might as well not sit on them, and you got the momentum, so keep it going.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Go check him out, musicbyjtl.com. He's on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. His latest one, Can't Stay Here, is out now. It's the greatest bar song you've never heard. It is a bar song. Tell us about this song, John.
Oh, Can't Stay Here. I sat down and writing with I had a writing partner for a while named Dick Wells, a great writer, and he's from Nashville area, and so he had this line that said, just the last half of this, you heard the last call, drank your last beer, don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Well, I thought, oh, I can work with that. That is just great. So we sat around and we came up with the rest of it. It's kind of from a bartender's perspective. You know, there's a girl at the bar, you know, wearing red shoes, and there's a guy at the table playing solitary pool. But if they don't get it together and find their courage and find it soon, we're about to close up and don't open till noon. And so he tells them, you've heard the last call, you drank your last beer, don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
Nice. No, it's awesome. The greatest bar song you've never heard. Go and check him out. Music by JTL. John Trescott Lewis. John, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jeff. Such a big pleasure. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Can't Stay Here. It's KIX 96.5.